Off the eastern coast of Australia lies New Caledonia, an ancient archipelago that has remained biologically isolated from the mainland for tens of millions of years. For over a century, the crested gecko was considered a ghost of this ecosystem. Since no sightings had been recorded since the late 1800s, the scientific community officially listed the species as extinct. This loss followed a common pattern. Island-dwelling species are often hyper-specialized to their environment, making them highly susceptible to any arrival of new predators or changes in the local food chain. Historically, once an isolated island reptile disappears from the scientific record for decades, it is almost never recovered. In 1994, a massive tropical storm struck New Caledonia. The high winds were powerful enough to destabilize the jungle canopy, fundamentally disturbing the deep interior of the forest. During the environmental survey following the storm, researchers discovered a surviving population of crested geckos. They weren't extinct. They had simply been living high in the canopy, away from human observation. This raised a question for biologists. How did a species with such a specific, localized range manage to persist unnoticed for more than 100 years? The answer lay in a series of evolutionary traits. The same biological adaptations that allowed them to thrive in the stable, temperate canopy of New Caledonia happened to align with the conditions of a human household. New Caledonia's climate is defined by its stability. Being surrounded by the Pacific Ocean, the islands experience a narrow, mild temperature range compared to most tropical environments. This chart compares the native temperature range of 72 to 78 degrees with a standard living room. They are nearly identical. The islands also follow a consistent dew cycle, oscillating daily to maintain humidity levels between 60 and 80%. Replicating this in a captive environment is a matter of a simple misting schedule, spraying the enclosure twice daily to maintain the cycle. Because of this climate overlap, the crested gecko doesn't require the complex, high-heat lighting systems that most tropical reptiles need to survive. This wireframe shows why a standard horizontal reptile tank is insufficient. Because they evolved in the forest canopy, crested geckos utilize vertical space, requiring enclosures that prioritize height over floor area. To move through this vertical world, they utilize microscopic structures on their toe pads. These structures engage van der Waals forces, which are molecular-level attractions. This allows the gecko to create a temporary physical bond with smooth surfaces. This allows them to scale sheer glass walls in a terrarium with the same stability they had on waxy jungle leaves. They also lack movable eyelids. Their eyes are protected by a transparent scale that must remain hydrated to prevent irritation or damage. To maintain this, they have a behavioral adaptation of using their tongue to physically wipe and hydrate the surface of their eyes. From their molecular grip to their self-cleaning eyes, these physical traits allow them to navigate and maintain health within a glass enclosure. One of the most difficult aspects of reptile keeping is the consistent sourcing and feeding of live insects. However, in the wild, the crested gecko is an opportunistic omnivore. While they do eat insects, a significant portion of their diet consists of overripe, rotting fruit found in the canopy. Biologists used this preference to create a powdered, shelf-stable diet. When mixed with water, it provides a complete meal mimicking their wild foraging. By relying on a prepared diet rather than a mandatory live insect rotation, one of the most common barriers to exotic pet ownership was effectively removed. In 1994, the crested gecko was a missing piece of New Caledonia's history. Today, it is among the most common reptiles in the world. They routinely live 15 to 20 years in captivity, a lifespan that reflects their biological hardiness when their specific requirements are met. This is the result of their evolution in isolation. The traits they developed to survive in a stable, temperate island niche made them uniquely compatible with the environment of a human home. To learn more about these specific lighting, nutrition, and habitat needs of this species, you can access the full research at Krawlo's Crested Gecko Hub.